What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to GOAT Talk. We just had the NFL wildcard round. We are going to the divisional round this weekend, but let's just recap the wildcard real quick. Let's get into it.
Yes, sir.
First thing we got to talk about is this Jaguars-Chargers game.
Dude, I couldn't believe that they came back. I really thought they were toast.
I think it was more of like a choke by the Chargers rather than
They choke every year.
Dude, it was
Every year.
insane. Like, how do you lose a game? They were up 27-0, right?
At halftime,
Yeah.
they were up 27-0.
That's insane.
They put up 3 points in the second
You
half.
never see like that big of comebacks, but like you just hate to see when teams just start playing like that soft defense, don't give up the big play, and then all of a sudden the other team starts chipping away, and when you can't get anything going on offense, and especially when you're at a team like they were at the Jaguars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joey Bosa also had 2 major penalties that fucked them big time.
Yeah.
Wasn't one of them like BS? Wasn't he like complaining about
One
it?
of them was a little weird because you see like him and the ref having a conversation. Obviously, no one knows what was said besides them, and then they throw the flag. But the other one, he like throws his helmet on the field, and like that lets them get the 2-point conversion to get back in the game and everything.
Yep.
So that was really costly on his part. But imagine how much they won by 1. They came back to win 31-30. How much they would have won by if Trevor Lawrence didn't have 4 picks.
Oh,
They would have routed them.
The Jaguars would have steamrolled them.
Like-
I also thought the play calling in the second half, like you're up 27-0 or whatever it is at that point, and every first down they're coming out passing the ball.
Yeah.
And I could understand, like, yeah, you have Justin Herbert, you have a high-powered offense, but
You also have Austin Eckler.
yeah, you have Austin Eckler on that team, and the passing game is obviously not working. Like,
Yeah, that
try
was
to get the
crazy.
run some clock
Yeah.
and try to run the ball a little bit.
I couldn't believe that they came back. 'Cause one of my cousins is a Jaguars fan. I was like thinking like, oh man, he's like they're toast. Like that sucks.
Yeah.
He was so happy for them to win the division, get in the playoffs. And then I texted him after the game. I was like, wow. He sends me this meme. It's 3 guys sitting on a couch. So it's the who was it? I forgot who it was. It was like the Chargers. And whenever the 2 last teams beat they were, and there's a guy
Yeah.
standing up with the Jaguars logo on his face, and the meme's like, it smells like bitch in here. I was cracking up when he sent me that.
Dude, but it was night and day for Trevor Lawrence first, second half. Like,
Oh,
that is some major
yeah, I'm not-
poise to come out in the second half and do that. And look, I'm a Trevor Lawrence fan. You guys know that. It's a Clemson boy right there. It's my team. He was horrible in the first half. Like, it was just absolutely horrible. And then, I mean, everyone probably said it's like, you can't get worse than that, right? So we all knew he was going to have a better second half. But to come out like that and actually come out firing and just
I was
dismantle that team,
shocked.
wow.
4 picks. I think it was like since week 12 or
The
whatever.
yeah.
He had like 2 picks.
In the
since
last,
then.
it was like in the last
Killed
8
the
weeks.
second half.
Yeah.
The last 8 weeks, he had 4 picks altogether.
And then he had 4 in the first half.
I was ready for a
Jesus.
historic pick game. I thought he was going to throw like 6,
Yeah.
7 picks in that game.
Dude,
just the
I
way
was
he
like-
came out.
That was crazy.
But yeah,
I
no,
couldn't
he
believe
definitely
that.
showed some balls there in the second half.
Yeah, especially going for it on that 4th and 1 when they were down 3 or down 2 still.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
do that. They had 3 running backs behind him, and they did the little fucking pitch to ETN. He got like 25 yards,
I
I
saw
thought
seal
he
the
was gonna
game.
score on
Wow.
that. I was
What a
like, let's
fucking
go,
play
ETN,
call, too.
Anytime score, but nope.
Me and my dad were sitting there. We're like, are they going to go for it? I was like, they have to go for it. He's like, no, you can't. I was like, they have to. He's like, I don't know about that one. And then as soon as they threw it to, or as soon as he pitched it to ETN, you knew he was getting it. There was nobody,
yeah.
nobody could get to that edge
ETN
quick
only had
enough.
like 1 catch that game. Like, which is crazy to me because he's a great receiving back, but he had 1 catch that game.
Dude, he was a dog in the running game. He had
He
like 100 and something yards.
He had 100.
I had his over.
or something like that. Yeah, I had his over at 1 and like 2.5 catches, and he had like 1 the whole fucking game.
Yeah, I had his over in I had it in a parlay, his over in rushing yards. It was like 78. And he wasn't doing too well with it. And in the second half he was just bullying them too. It was a great overall game by them.
I had over for the game, which that was a lock. That was so
I feel like
easy.
a lot of the games were a lock for the overs.
So
Besides the Ravens.
I'm in a pick 'em pool. So you got to pick. So beginning of the playoffs, you pick who's gonna win the Super Bowl. Obviously, I picked the Bills, and then you pick every game against the spread.
Mhm.
And if you get it right, it's a point. If you
Yeah, I've
get
been
it-
in
yeah, yeah.
I've
But
done that with Drew before.
Optional is over under.
Mm.
So I took the over in every game this week, and it missed in 1 game. I think.
Was
I'm
that the
pretty sure
Bengals?
That had
No,
to
I
be-
think it was the Cowboys game.
Oh, really?
I
But
think
they
that
must
was
have
the
had a
only
low
game I
over-under
missed.
For the
Or maybe-
Bengals-Ravens game.
Maybe it was the Bengals game.
because they hit 41, but I mean they could have had a low over.
No, that one missed because it was at 43. So
Oof.
that one missed. And I think maybe the Cowboys Bucks hit. I don't remember, but I know I took the over in every single game, and majority of them hit.
Yeah.
Earlier that game, though, earlier that day, 49ers doing 49er things.
Yeah.
What we expected, I think.
Yeah, I was actually going to bring up that game next. So that game went into halftime, I think 17-16 Seahawks.
Yeah.
And in the
Mhm.
second
Crazy.
half, the 49ers, it just wasn't even a game
Nah.
anymore.
I was at
Brock
halftime. I was
Purdy,
like, wow,
though?
dude, Seahawks going to hang in this game. Geno Smith and Kenneth Walker.
Brock Purdy's good. That's why I like when these guys get their chance because there's always a couple. We know that. We've known that since fucking it happened with Brady. There's always a couple that get drafted super late, like 5th round, 6th round, 7th round. This guy was Mr. Irrelevant. And they just end up being a dog. And I forget who I was talking about it with. I was like, you think they go with him next year? You think they trade Lance? Like, what do you think happens? And I forget who it was, but they were like, nah, I think they start the season out with Trey Lance. And I was like, yeah, and he's going to be shit. They're going to go back to Brock Purdy.
I think they're going to start with Brock Purdy because Lance is going to be coming off the ACL.
Yeah, that.
So.
And now let's say the 49ers go all the way.
You
can't go from Brock Purdy
Yeah.
will be the first if obviously they win the Super Bowl, he'll be the first rookie ever to win a Super Bowl.
I'm seeing like flashbacks
quarterback.
of Alex Smith and Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah.
It's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Alex Smith gets hurt. Kaepernick leads them to the Super Bowl. They lose the Super Bowl. And then Kaepernick just took over from there.
Yeah.
I'm seeing the exact flashbacks to where Purdy leads them to the Super Bowl. They lose to the
It's
Bills,
just
and he takes over.
what happens with Trey Lance if they do give Brock Purdy, because Trey
don't
Lance
know.
he was a top 10 pick, wasn't he?
Top 3 pick.
Yeah.
I think there's teams that would go out and get him.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
No, so we'll definitely trade for him.
I don't know. That's actually an interesting situation to see what's going to happen there now.
No, they have an insane
'Cause
quarterback.
Jimmy G's gone.
Yo, Jimmy G.
He's gone.
100%.
He's on a different team next year.
And even that's it's obviously a system that fits like most quarterbacks into
That's
it.
the thing with Purdy,
but-
too. It's a great system. Like,
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Nick
Exactly.
Kyle Shanahan
Yeah.
is the quarterback.
That's what I was gonna
whisperer.
say. Like you could say like, oh, if you put Purdy on like another team, even if they're good, maybe he doesn't do as well. I think he's good. He's got all the tools. So
Yeah. I could see him maybe not being as good, but being decent.
yeah,
but
I think I think he would still be a very good quarterback. I
it's
think
just
he's
a great
dude, he's-
system
they
to
haven't
succeed in.
lost in like 11 weeks.
I
I don't think he'd be doing that on like another team. But like
I don't see them losing this week either. Like I think they're gonna go to the Super Bowl.
I think they're very good. The 49ers, I mean, they've proved it year in and year out. They're here every single year.
Yeah.
They're in the talk.
My
Yeah.
prediction before the playoffs started, so obviously I'm gonna have the fucking Bills winning it, is the Bills beat the 49ers.
I've been saying it as a joke, but now I'm kind of sticking with it. I've been saying Giants, Jags, just like
I can
fuck it, you know,
I
Giants,
I've been betting
Jags.
that.
The thing about the Giants, this reminds me of that first Super Bowl with Eli. The team, Tiki Barber actually retired the year right after the year before that because he thought the Giants were going nowhere. And the Giants came out the next year, had a great defense, obviously, and they were predicted to have like 4 wins, 5 wins. They came out and won 9 games, made the wild card, and the rest is history from there. And this reminds me a lot of that. And I also think Daniel Jones is somehow like Eli's like lost little brother or something like that. But,
That can run.
yeah.
Eli was a stone. He just fucking stood there.
Vanilla Vic.
Vanilla Vic,
Vanilla
dude.
Vic.
Isn't
He-
both of their Super Bowls when they were in the wild card?
Yeah, they were both wild cards.
That's
Why I keep saying, like, I mean, I haven't seen you guys in a while, so you probably haven't heard me say it, but I've been saying as the Giants, a wild card Giants team is scary. I think I texted it in the group chat too because Angus was like,
That's actually
I can't wait
crazy.
for like the playoffs, blah blah blah, and I was like, watch out,
Yeah.
wild card Giants
Been
are
saying-
scary.
And also, I thought the Vikings were a little bit of frauds. Like, yeah, they were a very good team, but I did see
They've won-
There's a stat that so if you combine like points per
Their
points
point dif-
against per game.
Their point differential was negative.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
if you combine points against per game and some other defensive stat, like they had the worst defense in the league, and every other team for the last like 10 years that had like the worst defense according to that statistic finished with no more than 5 wins of the regular season.
They won 11 one-score games, I think it was. Or like it was
Yeah.
either 8 or 11. It was one of like, it was
And
nuts.
that
They beat
game-
they
that
beat you
game
guys
was
by
on
one
at, like,
score. They beat
Yeah.
you guys by 1 score.
Yeah.
They beat us by 1 score. So
That game was
and
at
then
like,
eight
what,
other-
4:25 too?
Yeah.
That's why. Kirk can't play unless it's 1 p.m.
Yeah,
He
1
cannot
p.m.
play unless it's 1 p.m.
Yeah, 1 p.m. Kirk, Hall of Famer.
Elite.
Anything,
Elite.
anything other than 1 p.m., Kirk Cousins is like Nathan Peterman.
Literally, you put every game at
Me.
1 p.m.,
Still play.
they're
good, but-
undefeated. Super Bowl 1 p.m., Vikings are a lock. Like, there's no beating 1 p.m. Kirk.
If every single game was at 1 p.m., including the Super Bowl, the Vikings might win 10 in a row with Kirk
Dude.
Cousins.
They would be like the Patriots dynasty
Yeah.
of 1 p.m. games.
You know what?
He is the king of 1 p.m. games.
Besides just the Giants in general being good, Isaiah Hodgins on their team, their wide receiver.
You're welcome.
Wow.
Yeah, he came from the Bills.
You're
practice
welcome.
squad.
Wow. Just out of nowhere.
Dabble,
I
though.
think he's
also-
good, dude.
Dabble. I think Dabble wins MVP.
Yeah.
for that. Dabble.
If he doesn't win Coach of the Year, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
There's something.
Dabble is insane.
Yeah, he brought Hodges with him.
Yeah, and I think that's like the one thing the Giants are missing right now, which would help Daniel Jones out a lot, is that
Nope.
number,
Yeah.
like that true number 1 receiver.
100%.
Look at Kenny Galladay.
Yeah,
Ball.
Kenny Galladay. When I saw,
He's been getting some run because he's been throwing blocks,
Dude,
dude.
So I saw the last
19
week of
mil
the
a year to
season,
throw
like,
block.
everyone was like tweeting out what players need for like their bonuses.
the
And Kenny
Kenny Galladay
Galladay.
one.
Kenny
78
Galladay.
catches.
Yes, if Kenny Galladay gets 75 receptions for like 1,100 yards today, he'll get his bonus. And they were like, expect Kenny Galladay breakout.
Imagine, like, they didn't give him that contract, like, who they could have had.
I know that was. I mean, I think there's not a lot of like big free agent signings that completely work out if you really think back. Like, there's really not, like, I'm talking about big free agent signings.
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
always
yeah.
guys that like are filling guys that end up working out, but like the big time names, like it seems like it works out less than it does. You know? What
Yeah. I mean, going back to the other game, everybody in the football world shit on it, which maybe he wasn't worth all that money, but Christian
Christian
Kirk had a
Kirk.
great year.
Oh,
A
Christian
great
Kirk,
year.
dog, man.
Absolutely.
Not even
great.
just him.
Dude,
the
Zay Jones, where the fuck does this guy come
yeah,
from?
the receiving core they put together was just like the money they paid for them. We're all like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah,
And they go out and they put up numbers, man. They put up good numbers. They made it to the postseason.
Zay
They
Jones
won a game.
sucked on the Bills. Sucked. Then he had that flip. I don't know if you guys remember his flip out in a hotel
I don't remember that.
where
Remember that.
I don't know if it was like drugs or something he was like high on, where like he had like blood on his hand somehow, and he was like running, screaming through hotel hallways like butt naked. You don't remember that?
AB? I don't remember.
No, that
this.
was Zay Jones. It was I think it was when he was with the Raiders though. It's something
That
in
makes
Vegas,
sense.
dude.
Yeah, something
It's
was
something in
Vegas.
that water over there. Like
I don't know. I don't know how much we could talk about this, but AB's Snapchat story the
Oh,
other day.
God.
I was
I
like,
saw I saw a funny ass tweet. It was like a clip from iCarly when she like walks into the her like apartment room or whatever, and the fucking lights are all bright. And she goes like this, and it was like everyone waking up to AB Snap story. It was that
dude, he has some serious issues.
dude. He Hall of Fame talent, and
He
he
threw it
just-
away.
I
Still one of the best wide receivers of our generation.
oh
Absolutely. Like,
Crazy.
still one of the best.
100%.
But
He was never,
just his head is.
yeah, never the same after some of those hits.
Vontez Burfict really
Yep.
Doesn't help when he dropped the
Did you
weight
guys
set
see-
on his head either.
This is going to be a little kind of off topic, I guess. Not really, because we're going to get in the Bills game next. But DeMar Hamlin's injury, AB's injury from Burfict, and then his injury from Juju when Juju destroyed him
Yeah.
the next year,
All
all
in
in the same
Cincinnati.
field,
Yep.
all in Cincinnati.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, 3 horrible injuries.
Mhm.
3 of the worst injuries you'll see in football, all in the same field.
There was one injury that happened this week in the Bengals game. Who got hurt?
Eli Apple,
No.
I wish it was him.
It was I forgot who it was, but they were saying on TV how like it was 5 yards away from where DeMar collapsed.
Oof.
And it's like, dude, what are the odds of like that was freaky. Like it's and it's just I don't know. We got the rematch with them, which we'll get into in a little bit, but there's some superstitions I got for that game that we'll talk about in a little bit. But Bills Dolphins, it was an ugly win, but a win's a win.
Yeah.
We're moving on, 34-31.
A lot closer than I think any of us thought it was
Yeah,
going
We
to
were
be.
up 17-0.
Yeah,
I thought
I
once
thought-
we went up 17-0, I was like, this is over.
We were actually on the lift line, and we were trying to get the score of the game, and the guy in front of us was like, "Oh, the Bills are up 17-0. Game's already over."
Yeah.
We literally thought it was a lock. Got in the car later on, we're like, "Holy shit! Why is this actually a close game?"
Mhm.
Yeah. Like
Yeah, it's Bills being Bills. They got to make
Yeah.
every game stressful for me. Every single one.
like I said,
Doesn't matter.
I had a few bets on. Like I had the parlay going on the Bills when they went up 17-0, and there was a rushing touchdown for the second touchdown.
Yeah.
I was like, there goes Josh Allen getting 2 passing touchdowns. I'm like, they're gonna get some other touchdown and be up like 24-0, and he's not gonna throw the ball the rest of the game. But the Dolphins started coming back. What was the halftime score? Was it 2017 or something like that?
I think we were tied. They tied the game at one point.
Yeah, 2017.
Yeah.
2017 Bills going into half, like not what I expected, especially after the 17-0 start.
No, that was
Skylar Thompson,
ugly game.
kind of.
Dude, honestly, props to him. He did not play bad. Wide receivers dropped a lot of passes.
Yeah.
Props to Skylar Thompson because he actually played good. And like there was like watching the game, I was like, wow, that was a good ball. Jalen Waddle drop.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, like that sucks. Like he actually played very good.
He played well. He played well enough for them to win. And maybe if
Yeah.
they catch some of those balls, like score could have been different, but Bills came away with that one.
Yeah, man, a win's a win. At the end of the day, we're moving on. That's all I really care about. It's in the past now. Let's focus on the Bengals. This is a huge game. But Josh Allen really needs to get his shit together.
Yeah, he had a rough.
He's going back to 2019 when we played the Texans, and he's turning over the ball in the playoffs. I don't know what he's doing. And it was kind of like the Chargers game where we were up and we were still taking like deep shots.
Yeah.
It's like, why? We don't need that. We don't need these
Like,
big plays.
And the weird thing is too, the second interception he had on the deep ball to John Brown.
That was the first.
That was the first one. Oh, okay. The second one was okay. Never mind. But I guess the first one that he had to John Brown, or the pass was going to John Brown.
Mhm.
They showed it in slow mo after, and John Brown didn't run the route right, or else he would have caught it probably for a touchdown, or it would have been at least a contested ball, and the guy wouldn't have had a free, or at least it wasn't Xavier Howard, right?
Yeah, it was like
He had it
over the shoulder.
Which was
Yeah.
a very nice catch by him.
Yeah, it was.
But John, and literally they said, as soon as they said, I was so pissed. They were like, they're not going to be having him out there anymore. It's going to be Stephon Diggs the rest of the game. I was like, fuck God. The one time Stephon Diggs could have had the touchdown.
Yeah.
I was so mad.
The second one hit off Beasley's hand.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, it was a great defensive play. Cause it was
The guy got there.
The guy came through and
Yeah.
poked it to his teammate. Great defensive play. Are they completely on Josh Allen? Probably not.
The second one, not at all.
But
The first
it's
one,
just-
honestly, neither of them were, but
it's just shit, especially against the Bengals. We can't have that.
no.
And, like, given there's some, like, we had a deep ball to Shakur, our rookie,
Yeah.
and it was ruled a catch. It ended up he dropped it.
Yeah,
but, like,
I remember that one.
dude, he's wide open. Like, you got to catch that. Dawson
Yep.
Knox had a drop. Like, there's a couple drops here and there. There's a lot of stuff that they got to
Stephon
clean
Diggs
up on.
couldn't keep the ball in his hand long enough.
That was a tough catch.
It was,
that
I mean, it was a
if he
one-handed
caught
against his
that,
body.
That would have been a sick touchdown if he caught that.
I got up
that
and I
was
started.
tough.
I was like, because I told my dad, I'm like, "Let's go!" And then as soon as I started replaying it, I fell to the ground. I'm like, "No!"
Yeah. At first, they were saying his feet weren't in, so they showed his
Yeah.
feet. I was like, "Feet,
And that's why-
touchdown."
And that's
then
why
they showed
everyone
the
at the
ball.
stadium wanted them to like actually look
But
at it
they
because that's
didn't even look at it, which is weird.
because I think the refs were getting in their ear literally the whole time. Like, okay, yes, his feet were in, but he didn't have control of the ball.
Yeah, but I just feel like normally, like no matter like,
And that's what I think
always
they
look
were.
at those plays a little extra, where they just went back to playing. Like
I think
that.
that's what they were telling McDermott on the sideline too. They're like, look, like they looked at it up there. He didn't have control. Like
Yeah.
you're not seeing what we're hearing because all they were showing on the big screen was his feet. 'Cause that's
Yeah.
what everyone was like. That's what they were saying at first. Like, oh, his feet weren't in. So every replay on the big screen was just his feet, his feet, his feet.
Yeah.
So everyone's like, why aren't they replaying this thing? And the announcers did a good job. They're like the people upstairs or whatever. They're telling them like, look, his feet were in, but he didn't have control. And
That would have been a hell of a catch.
it would have been. But next game, I mean, Bengals Ravens, what a complete shit game.
Ravens should have won that game.
Yeah.
Ravens should have won that game. I don't know why they QB sneaked it from the 2.
Oh, yeah, that was
They really should. And then,
that
and-
play was
dude, and then-
insane.
I don't know if you guys saw the last play of the game, like that Hail Mary.
Oh my
That guy should've
God.
caught- he
Did
could
you
have
see-
caught that ball.
Did see that? Yeah.
Prochet or whatever his name.
Yeah.
Holy dude.
Dude, it is
It's like I said, I'm in that survivor pool and the Bengals were my second team. So they throw that up and I'm like, there's no way. And when it hit off someone's hands and I
Yeah.
saw him, it reminded me of I think it was the Giants' second Super Bowl when Brady had the Hail Mary at the end and Gronk had the hurt ankle, so he couldn't dive for the ball to catch it, and he missed it. And I saw this guy, and it just went through his hands, and I was like, thank God.
Dude, like that, he should have caught that.
He
It
should have.
literally, like,
It
hit
literally
right
was
off
in his hands.
And like, oh my gosh,
I couldn't believe
game was-
that.
I couldn't believe the 98-yard return the Bengals.
Do you see what?
defense had.
Do you see what Dobbins said after? He's like, "Why the fuck are we QB sneaking that there?"
He also
He's like,
said
"If
it-
we had Lamar, we would have
yeah,
won."
If we had
I was
Lamar,
like,
we would have
"Oh,
won that game.
shit."
That's
Like
what he
Huntley
said.
did you good for like half the year, man. Like
Dude,
you
but
can't.
like props to Dobbins for being honest.
I
So
mean,
many
true.
players would go out and be like, yeah, like you play like.
You
Dobbins
can't
is
just
like, nah,
completely
screw that. We lost.
You can't just completely shit on your QB though. You can't just be like.
Yeah, you gotta.
It's not his QB.
But it was for half the year. And if Lamar was really his QB, he would have braced it up and suited up, like Vic said to do.
I saw that.
Do you guys think Lamar's going somewhere else next season?
He
Harbaugh
did throw.
said today that he's like, I'm 200% confident that Lamar is going to be a Raven.
Didn't Lamar
So-
throw some shady like tweet out or something like that?
I think so.
He said something about like if you don't take care of what's yours, it won't be yours for long or something like that.
Yeah.
Some shady crap like that, which
I
is
don't-
true.
I think he's gonna. I think he'll be back
I just
there.
don't see how you let a guy like Lamar.
Me
go.
too.
I mean,
but at
they
the
won't let
same
him
time-
walk. If they
Nah.
do, they're going to do a sign and trade.
It'll be his. It will be his decision.
Yeah.
But I think they could get a deal done. Because they also said that they fired their OC, and Harbaugh said he's like before we hire anyone, we want Lamar's approval. So imagine he tells them to hire like some shit OC and then leaves. It's like, all right, hire this guy. I'm out. That would be fucking sick.
I mean, this offseason could actually be a big, a lot of quarterback names up in the carousel.
And the draft too.
100%.
Yeah.
Between the draft and free agency, quarterback situation is gonna be pretty wild.
Aaron Rodgers' future. It's kind
Yeah.
of.
Well, you see,
You
who's
see what
it on the
You,
Lions?
you see what Gronk said about Aaron Rodgers? He's like,
Yeah.
"Why are you thinking about MVPs? You should be thinking about Super Bowls." Like,
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. 100%
100%
agree.
agree.
You shouldn't be trying to win MVP. You should be trying to win a Super Bowl and win MVP on the way. And if you don't, if you win the Super, like I'd rather have 3 Super Bowls than 3 MVPs.
Yeah.
I actually saw a clip from I think it was Edelman. He was talking about like Brady's like run and stuff, and he said he would work out with Brady at Brady's house. And he said
Yeah, I saw that.
on his whiteboard in his gym, Brady every year would write the location of that year's Super Bowl. And Edelman asked him one year, he said, he asked him, he goes, "Why do you have that written on your board?" He goes, "That's going to be the location of our last game this year." And then Edelman
Damn.
was like, he goes, "We're going to get you past Montana." And Brady looked at him, and he goes, "I'm not chasing Montana." He goes, "I'm chasing Jordan." Because Montana
Fire
has 4
quote.
Super Bowls,
Yeah.
and Jordan had 6 championships.
You see what
Fire
Gronk said
quote.
about Josh Allen?
No.
He's like, I forgot the exact wording, but it was something how like, if he were to come back, the one quarterback he wants to be catching passes from is Josh Allen. Do you guys remember Pac-Man Jones?
Yeah.
He was on the Cowboys. He was on the Bengals.
Oh, yeah.
I saw something today that they were going over like Bills Bengals game, and Pac-Man Jones was saying how, because obviously he's a Bengal, so that's why I think he said it. But he's like, I don't understand all the hype about Josh Allen. Everybody, he's so overrated. Like the only reason why we're talking about him is because of his feet and because he's mobile, and we're like, he's like, the reason we're definitely not talking about him is because of his arm. And then somebody quote tweeted with the deep ball to Diggs in the past game when it was a perfect ball.
Yeah.
Like, he's such a clown, dude. Like, you were bumming the NFL. That's why you're talking shit. That pissed me off. Last game of the wild card weekend. Cowboys 31, Bucks 14.
I was completely wrong about this.
Me
game.
too. I
thought
expected.
Brady was
Same.
gonna come out and there was going to be playoff Brady.
So did I.
And then I think this was the first time in Brady's career he lost to the Cowboys.
Yep.
And I think also this year the Cowboys are like 1-3 or 1-4 playing on grass this year.
I really thought the Bucks were gonna win that game.
I was sold on the Bucks easily. Well, I thought the Cowboys were going to take an early lead and then the Bucks would come back in the second half and just absolutely murder them. But
Why are you the second person to tell me that grass stat in the past 24 hours? And I'm not even kidding. Like, Brandon told me about it yesterday because they're playing the 49ers next, and I think it's going to be on grass as well.
yeah.
And he was like, you better be on the 49ers. Cowboys don't play well on grass or something. He said something like that, and I was like, what the fuck? So the
Yeah.
fact that you
If
mentioned
the
that
Bucks
too.
won, would the Giants have played the 49ers? Right.
No. Giants play the Giants are the lowest seed. They had the 7, right?
Was it them or the Bucks? Oh well, the Bucks actually technically won their division.
Yeah, they won their division.
Yeah, that's right. Never mind.
Yeah.
Completely.
And then the other wild card was the Cowboys.
Yeah, that's right. I
So
forgot.
the Giants,
Shit, Bucks
if the
their
Giants
division.
won, they were playing the Eagles every
Yeah.
single time.
Yeah, I think.
I hope the Giants come out and smoke the Eagles.
I think the 49ers take care of the Cowboys.
So do I.
Too. I think the 49ers.
I also said the Bucks are going to win, though, so who knows?
I think the 49ers are the most complete NFC.
I think,
Yeah.
look,
So I think so.
if the Vikings were frauds, then I think the Cowboys are frauds too. Because the Vikings were the Vikings won their division and they got slaughtered by the Cowboys, and I don't think the Cowboys are that good either.
I don't think so.
So I think
I don't think
49ers
their defense
should
is that good.
absolutely bombard
They got
them.
a talented offense, but I don't think their defense is that good.
Yeah,
I think Trayvon Diggs is.
My worst nightmare would be the Giants losing and the 49ers losing, because then it's Eagles, Cowboys, and one of them has to go to the fucking the championship, and I would not want
yeah,
that.
I don't want the Eagles or Cowboys either, man. I hate them as much as you. That's why
Another
I-
part of me, though, like, if it was a guaranteed lock that the Bills were going to be in the Super Bowl,
You'd want the Cowboys.
I would want the Cowboys just so I could just demolish them and talk shit.
Dude,
Like,
I mean, you're going to –
that's-
I know what you're going to say as soon as I say this, but New York Super Bowl? Oh, you guys are in Jersey.
Yeah.
that would be – dude, I'm actually, like, everybody that I've talked to about this Bills-Banger games, I said the same thing, and I'll be the first to admit it. I'm nervous. I am nervous
I
about
mean,
this game.
I see that, but at the same
The
time –
AFC is tough, man.
They
Between the
are
Bills,
such a
Bengals, and
talented team, the
The
Bengals.
Bills, Bengals, and Kansas City. Like, they're
Like,
all tough teams to beat.
Obviously, the Chiefs are very talented. It'll probably bite me in the ass, but I've been saying it the past, like, ever since before we played the Dolphins. I've saying it the past 2 weeks. I'm more scared of the Bengals than I am of the Chiefs. And I was really pulling for the Ravens to upset them,
I
so
mean,
then we could
it's-
play the Jags.
The AFC, arguably, those are the top three quarterbacks in the league right there. The
Yeah.
Chiefs, Bengals, Bills.
I mean,
I remember
way
one
the-
of my bold predictions for the season was the Bengals aren't going to make the playoffs.
yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
Fuck. Now they're going to end my season.
The only, I'm not the only upside, but a major upside that I would see for you guys is that they did just play a really shitty game.
Yeah.
I mean, the Ravens have a very good defense, but so do the Bills.
Yeah.
So if they come out flat again and you guys can just bombard them with the defense, like the Ravens did,
We got to win the turnover game. That's what it is. Josh Allen can't have turnovers.
dude,
and we gotta
he's
force
gonna be
turnovers from
he's
them.
gonna be thrown against fucking Eli Apple. Like, come on,
That's what I'm
like
saying, dude.
Diggs 2+ touchdowns next week. Lock.
Well, you
Lock.
think- Is Apple on him?
Doesn't matter.
Apple's on playoff Gabe, then. I mean, playoff Gabe's going to have a game like he did against the Chiefs last year.
All right, parlay it. 2+ touchdowns. Gabe 2+ touchdowns. Diggs.
Yeah,
Josh Allen's throwing for 6 touchdowns.
that'd be sick. All right, but let's talk about this game. So, superstitions, I got some. We obviously didn't get to play the game against the Bengals a couple weeks ago because of a freak accident with DeMar Hamlin. The first time you've ever seen all of sports come together.
Oh, yeah.
No matter what fan you are, no matter what sport. So we didn't get to play that game. DeMar's back. He's in the team facility. We're playing the Bengals again. DeMar leads them out of the tunnel. Stadium erupts.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the Bills are just going to play for DeMar, and we're going to be down at halftime. And then they're going to be in the locker room. They're going to be like, DeMar, we're doing this for DeMar. We're going to come out in the second half, and we're going to roll.
So
Uh,
what I'm
They're-
hearing
oh,
is
this is for DeMar.
Bills second half money line.
Yeah.
if DeMar, I think if DeMar comes out of that tunnel leading the team out, like, there's no way they
The
lose.
Bengals
No
will
way.
Bengals
That
run back
stadium-
into the fucking locker room.
That stadium might, like, fall down after
Yeah.
that. Because Bills fans are not. I think I said it from the beginning of the year that it's the Bills probably have the best fan base in football.
Mm-hmm.
And if DeMar leads that team out, that stadium is going to be rowdy.
Dude. I just think since that happened, this team is playing with such a big chip on their shoulder that, like, it's bigger than football. They're playing for DeMar.
Yeah.
That's why I think that we could really make a run at it this year. And we played shitty last week, but a win's a win. And I think that everybody's just still on the same page. This is DeMar for DeMar, and nothing could stop them besides themselves.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody could beat the Bills besides the Bills. And especially this past week, Von Miller put a replica Lombardi in the locker room, and he, like, wrote a note. He's like, remember what you said. You said you would do anything for it. So, like, I think the team is amped up right now.
You have to be. I mean, it's a bit. Winning a Super Bowl is huge. A lot of players in football never get to see a Super Bowl. In their
I just can't think of a better story to such a sad event that happened, that the Bills win the Super Bowl. The first ever Bill to lift the Lombardi in Bills history, 'cause never won one, is DeMar Hamlin. And then you give it to Josh Allen and so on and so on.
Yeah.
But I just think that would be such a cool story for him to be the first ever Bill to lift that trophy.
It'd be sick. Like I said, is he going to the game or?
They haven't said he's going to the game. They haven't said if he's not going to the game yet, but he's been in their facility every day this week so far.
So he'll be at the game.
I hope he'll be at the game. He wasn't there last week.
They're gonna try to make it a surprise, but he's
He
gonna be at the game.
He watched the game from home last week. I hope he's in the stadium
Oh.
or maybe like not even, just put him in like a suite, but show him on the big screen.
Yeah.
Like I think,
Dude,
I hope he'll be. At
I
the
feel
game,
even if you
'cause-
put him up in a suite, like you have to have him lead that team out.
yeah,
100%.
Have to. That's just gonna literally like not only from the player's standpoint, just from a crowd standpoint.
yeah.
How electric that would be.
But even like if he is in a suite and doesn't lead the team out, like the team, maybe the fans won't, but the team will know. But like DeMar's in this building, like
Yeah.
we're doing this for him.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I just think I don't know. They're playing for something bigger than football.
Yeah.
So that's really all.
I'm looking at the times of these games. I
They
really think they
suck.
should both be flip-flopped.
These
Like
games
Jaguars
suck.
Chiefs at 4:30, Giants Eagles at 8:15. It should be the other way around.
I wanted the Bills
And
to
then
get
the-
Saturday night game.
The Bills game should be the other way around. The Bills should be playing at night
Yeah.
either way. They should
Yeah,
not be
3
playing
p.m.
Sunday
and
at 3
6:30
p.m.
p.m. on Sunday. Like these times suck.
Yeah.
I really wanted the Bills to get the Saturday night game, but they gave it to the Giants and Eagles.
I get it, but there's a good chance that it could be a fucking slaughter
Yeah.
in Philly.
Like I think
So-
if you put Giants Eagles Saturday 4:30, Bills Bengals Saturday at 8:15, Jaguars Chiefs Sunday at 3.
I'd put the Cowboys 49ers at 3. I
You
think
could do that
I
too.
think the Jags Chiefs as the later game would be better. Anyway,
I'm
I
pulling for the Jags.
am taking the Jags.
I'm pulling for them, man.
I'm taking the Jags.
Really am pulling for them. I would love to see that.
I have a newfound love and a special place in my heart for Pat Mahomes because he led me to a fantasy football championship. Thank you, Justin.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just, for some reason, especially after last week's win, I think something special's brewing over there. I think it's just like any other sport. A wild card team is getting hot. I mean, they've been hot at the end of the year. They won They came out flat last game. They figured it out. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think they're going to squeeze it out in Arrowhead.
Obviously, the Jags game is the day before the Bills, but if the Bills were somehow sadly lose, I'm pulling for the Jags to win the Super Bowl. I think that'd be that would just be crazy.
I know you can't see it happening.
I can't see them beating.
You can't see it happening,
I
but
didn't see them
can't see
coming
them
back from
beating
27-0
No, I
last
didn't
week.
either. But I just.
Anything could happen.
I mean, yeah, anything could happen in football. Anything could happen.
I think Saturday's full of upsets.
I just can't. I think the Chiefs are too good, man.
Saturday is an upset day. Jaguars are going to win. Giants are going to win. And then Sunday,
I hope the Giants win. I really.
the
hope
Sunday,
the Giants
the teams that need to take care of business are going to take care of business. Bills, 49ers, both going to take care
win.
of business.
Actually, Giants / 49ers fan for this playoff.
I'm a Giants fan, obviously. So once they lose, if somehow the Jaguars are still in, then I'm a Jaguars fan. But if the Jaguars lose, I mean, it's a free-for-all at that point. But let's see the Bills win. Who cares?
Yeah.
I know you can't say that.
I
It's your
can't-
division.
I-
It's not my
I-
division. I don't care that much.
We deserve it, man. Especially after
I
this
can't-
year,
I
we
can never,
deserve
But-
it.
never root for the Bills, man. I just can't
If-
do it. I will
much-
be, if DeMar comes out of that tunnel. If he does come out of the tunnel this weekend, I will be.
You'll be rooting for DeMar, but not.
Only time you'll ever hear this come out of my mouth, but I will be a Bills fan next week if DeMar is leading that team out of the tunnel.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, this whole accident was bigger than football to where you saw every fan unite.
dude, it was.
You saw Dolphins, Patriots, Jets, all
Yeah.
these fans, like, praying for DeMar, donating money for DeMar. Like, everybody on Twitter had their picture
and
as
did
the
you
pray
see,
for
which
DeMar.
I
like,
respected
crazy.
crazy from him. So his GoFundMe or his
Yeah.
charity
Yeah.
blew up.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot the exact dollar amount
It's like
he
eight.
raised.
It's like $8
But
million.
did you see
Yeah.
what he's doing? He's donating it to the healthcare workers that like helped him out in like the hospital that he went to after his injury.
Cincinnati.
Yeah, he's donating a bunch of money to all the nurses, doctors in that hospital. When I saw that, I was like, damn, like that's cool as fuck.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I was happy that the NFL came out. The NFL and Bills made an agreement. So he's 24. This is his second year in the league, so technically he's not guaranteed money. But if he can't play anymore, they're gonna get him. He's gonna technically he's on tenure, so he's guaranteed money if he can never play again.
Well, I saw they already because you lose a certain amount of money if you go on IR. I saw the NFL made like a loophole for him that even though he went on IR, he's still getting his full contract.
Yeah, which hats off to them.
What do you guys think about that? Like, I know I forget exactly what it was called, but everyone thought it was a certain thing that happens when you if your heart is in like a certain it's beating at a certain spot, and as soon as you get hit, it just makes it stop.
It's like,
but apparently that it's like a lot less likely for it to be that if your heart stops again a second time, which it did. Yeah, so apparently it's like
people thought it was like he just got it was like blunt trauma. When your heart is like in between,
that's what.
Well, because that's why that same injury happened in baseball. Well, not.
It happened in hockey too. It happened in professional hockey.
Like you heard about
guy died on the ice.
But there was kids happening to kids on the baseball field.
Yeah,
they got hit in the chest. That's why they the heart guards and everything like that. It's supposedly at the end of your heartbeat. If you get like blunt trauma to the chest at that last like tick of your heart before it resets and goes into the next heartbeat, like within milliseconds.
Yep.
If you get hit in the chest during that time, you go immediately into cardiac arrest.
My mom was telling me because my mom's like, I'm not gonna say what she was saying. It's nothing bad about like tomorrow or anything like that. It's just about like you know where I was going with it. But so she sent me something saying that like whatever I forget what it's like. I forget what it's called, but apparently it's a lot less likely for it to be that if your heart stops a second time, and because when you get it back in rhythm, it's not supposed to stop like that again if that's what it was. So I don't know. It's a wacky injury.
What the situation was, that was a fucking scary situation for
it was like a
fan
freak
watching
thing.
Any players obviously on his team. I couldn't imagine being his mom in the stands, seeing your son.
Dude, and then
and then you got his teammates right next to him watching him be given CPR and brought back to life, literally. Like,
I think there's some terrible people out there because there's people giving T. Higgins shit because he was the one that
pissed me.
He got tackled.
Like,
dude,
it looked like a normal football play.
It was.
T.
Higgins.
It was just the most perfect timing ever.
Freak injury.
Yeah.
And T. Higgins sat at that hospital for like a few days after that all happened. I hated that shit that T. Higgins was getting. T. Higgins should not got an ounce of shit for that. It's not like he drop kicked the guy.
Josh Allen said it too. It was like nobody should be hating on T. Like
it was a football play. Like,
that was
DeMar tackled.
What happened?
That's
you
literally
never want that to see to happen to anyone.
Never.
Like there's nothing like. You can't go back in time and say, like, oh, T. Higgins should have
He
did not do anything wrong on that play.
He got tackled. He was playing football.
Skip Bayless. I don't know if you guys saw his tweets.
He's a joke.
Like, his tweets really
His tweet right after,
off.
I know it pissed a lot of people off, but I think people just kind of, like, took it out of context and didn't read it correctly. I could see, like, the way that people were reading, I could see being like, yo, what the hell is this guy saying? But, like, if you actually sat there and looked at what he tweeted, it wasn't as bad. It was just a poorly worded, poorly timed tweet on his part.
I fucking hate him.
I didn't see anything. I don't know if he tweeted more about it.
He tweeted some bullshit apology, and then Shannon Sharp
didn't show up.
He didn't show up the next day, and then the following day he showed up, and Shannon Sharp like opened the statement saying like prayers for DeMar, blah blah blah, and then Skip Bayless, and then he said something about the tweet, and Skip Bayless jumped in and was like, I don't regret tweeting that. I'm not sorry for tweeting that. I don't take it back 1 ounce. And then Shannon Sharp blew up on him. Like, Like, live on show. Can't stand Skip Bayless. I hate him so much.
I never liked
I don't think
Skip
anybody's
Bayless
ever liked him.
before that.
No.
That was...
He's a weirdo.
Even if it was poorly timed or whatever, but... Come on, dude. Like... Playing that game was way less important than a guy's life.
Exactly, dude. That's what I'm saying. Like,
dude, that's not just a bad injury where like someone snapped it. Like, dude, this is this guy's life.
He literally.
You gotta realize like the people in the stands, the kids in the stands, his mom in the crowd, his teammates. Like,
how do you expect them to
like
play
I
that?
couldn't imagine playing baseball at any level, wherever any of that happening, something even close to that happening to one of my teammates. Like, you can't go back. Like,
No, how do you expect a team to get like amped up for a game
Yeah,
and like
dude,
play
you
after
can't
that? Like, there's
on
no
either side
shot.
of the
Yeah,
ball, like-
absolutely. Like, there's no shot they were gonna play that game. But that was terrifying to watch. I remember watching that here, like Trav and Ty, and like I was just like fucking shaking.
I didn't even watch it
Oh.
live, and I didn't know what the hit looked like, but I was scared to watch it after the fact. Cause like,
Yeah.
and people like the fact that people are even posting on Twitter and shit. I was like, come on.
Yeah,
Like, this
dude.
guy just died, and you're
Yeah.
posting the hit. But it was on Twitter, and I did see it, and I was like, oh, it doesn't look that bad. I was like, I wonder like why everyone's like going crazy about this, and then like you see like he literally just falls and
Mhm.
just doesn't move. I was like, oh
It literally, it was a
scary.
normal football play. It was just a
Yeah.
freak accident. Like that. So that hockey player that it happened to, he died on the ice. He ended up being brought back to life. He played 13 more seasons. Like
that's
animal.
just nuts.
Uh,
Hockey players are built different. That's why.
Yeah, literally.
Hockey players are nuts. I saw last night at the Islanders Bruins game, actually. Like, obviously, nowhere close to that type of injury. But, dude, guy in the Islanders took a slap shot, bro. Guy in the Bruins took it right to the fucking
Oh.
face. Dude, they literally, someone rushed on the ice with a towel, put it over his face, and
Yeah.
they rushed him right into the locker room.
He probably fucking got stitched up and came back
Came
into
back
the
in.
game, dude. Like,
It was insane. I
They're
was
wild.
like, everyone in the car was like, holy
Probably-
shit.
Probably broke his orbital bone.
Dude,
Yeah,
it was,
like,
I don't know
they're-
exactly
hockey
what hit him
players
in
are
the face, but,
wild.
like, he literally, as soon as it, like, because obviously a slap shot, you can barely see.
yeah.
It's 100+ miles per hour. He just went like this immediately, and people rushed on the ice and like put towels over his face and rushed him to the locker room. So like whether it was the nose, mouth, like he either lost a tooth, his nose is in half, or his
Hockey-
eyes gone.
Hockey players are crazy.
Oh, they're nuts.
Like,
and then
they're
even
actu-
watching videos from back then in hockey, like wearing no helmet.
Yeah,
half these guys didn't have
dude.
teeth. Like
The goalies too. Like goalies, like old days, they didn't wear helmets.
Dude, they
Like,
they
what
wear
are
the
you doing?
they'd wear the
dude?
fucking what's his name?
The Jason
The
mask.
Jason
Yeah,
mask.
they used to before that, like
just
they would literally
crazy.
wear nothing. It's like, dude, you're wild. Like I could not imagine ever doing that.
Dude, and hockey pucks, they're frozen pucks. Like
Yeah, those things are
Sliding on
hard.
ice. Sliding on ice the whole
rubber
time.
balls, man.
Dude, like I don't know. Props out to every hockey player there is. Dude. Like
I
they-
can't even skate.
That's
So.
Yeah, I can't
You
skate
got
either.
soccer players that get poked and they're flying across the field.
But that's another thing with like hockey players. Like I can't even skate to begin with. Like imagine fighting on skates.
No.
But, yeah,
Like how do you
forget
keep
just
your
fighting on
balance
skates,
and
like,
everything? Like
getting
Skating-
hit and still skating, like some of the
Not
things,
falling.
yeah, dude. Some of the things these guys
Skating
do,
backwards.
yeah, literally.
What?
All the
Like,
deeks they make and
I
everything.
think all
like,
around as a sport, like that's the hardest sport. to play.
100%.
it is so
Like all around,
it is crazy.
like that sport is just to get good at that sport. Like there's so many factors that go into it. It's literally insane.
Like every other sport's like, all right, you can run. You might be good at this sport. Hockey, it's like you can't, or even if you can't run, it's like, all right, there could be a position for you, like linemen in football. Like yeah, they can run, but like, they're not going anywhere fast.
hockey,
Hockey, if you can't get on those skates, you can't skate fast. You're never gonna last. It doesn't matter what position you play.
I was like
You-
watching the game the other night, Capitals at Islanders, like just watching Barzal, like how fast he
Oh,
is.
dude, he's
I was
insane.
just like,
even like just
how?
like watching him in person yesterday. I'm not a huge like I don't really watch that much hockey, but
yeah,
watching him in person yesterday, just some of the like the moves he has,
He's
dude, like
so
how quick he
fast,
is with the
dude.
puck, like it's very impressive to watch. Like
dude, it's crazy.
hockey's very impressive when you get a really good like skillful player
Mhm.
on the ice. It's like insane what they can do.
I was pissed Ovi didn't score the other night when I was there. I really wanted to see him score, but dude, just like watching him play too, like he's actually massive. Like he's
Oh,
actually
yeah.
a big dude, and he just like he's a different breed, dude. I really want to see him score, but my boy TJ Oshie scored, so that was cool to
Yeah, I
see.
mean, shout out to the hockey referees, man. Dude, they
Gosh.
fly up and down. And their
Uh,
warm ups are great, dude. They do like these speed laps around the rink.
Oh, they're
I love
getting
when-
food.
I love when the puck's coming towards them, they hop.
Yeah.
They hop over the puck, or they're like hopping like.
They'll
up
jump on the
it.
boards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw one get sniped the other night. He fell, dude. I was like, right after I was talking to Diana at the game, I was like, honestly, these refs are like elite skaters. And right after that, this guy just went down on his ass. I'm like, oh, that's hilarious.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
All right, back to football a little bit. Super Bowl prediction right now as it stands. Who do you think's winning the Super Bowl?
Bills beat the Niners.
Bills beat the Niners. How about you, Dave?
What do you want? What do you want? My real or my?
Give a real one.
It's rough, because I really feel like the Giants can get there. I really do. But I'll save that. I'm putting my gut keeps telling me. I'm not even kidding. My gut keeps saying Giants, Jags, but I can't sit here and say that. I think the Bills pulled out in the AFC this year, and I just don't think I don't think anybody can beat the 49ers. I think the Eagles might be able to. I think the Giants could upset them if they get there, but I think the 49ers are the best overall team left. So, yeah, Joey just said it, but I'm going to go Bills, Niners. Bills take it.
All right, we all have the same. Mine's a little different, but it's Bills, Niners, but I do think the Niners pull it out this year. I think Brock Purdy's the first ever rookie quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl. I do have a sleeper one, a second one, though.
I'm going to give mine, too. I mean, I already said it, but...
I mean, mine's not Giants, Jaguars, but I just think the AFC's a lock between the Bills. I think it's Bills, Chiefs in the Super Bowl, and the Bengals is like the third team. I just think they're too good to be beat by anybody else in the AFC. But it will go Bills, Giants, and the Giants win a fucking Super Bowl as a wild card.
It just keeps coming to me. Like, usually I'll, like, say something like that, but, like, on the inside, like, I have another one that I'll be like, I know this. But, like, anytime I think about it or anybody asks, I don't know. Giants, Jags, and I think the Giants pull it out. I think that would be crazy if it happens, but I do think, like I said, any other sport, wild card,
Baby.
wild card team gets hot. Like, we just saw the Phillies go to the fucking World Series as a wild card team, and they were probably one of the 3 worst teams in the playoffs, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
And they went to the Super Bowl. The Phillies went to the Super Bowl.
You're all over the place right now, David. Pick a sport.
So I'm gonna go with the San Francisco Giants. Jags, Giants take it.
I don't think I would use my phone for a week if the Bills made the Super Bowl and lost. I would shut my phone off for a minimum.
Dude, I do feel like this is the Bills' year to make the Super Bowl. I think they do. I think the Bills have more of a chance to lose to the Bengals this week than the Bills have a chance of losing. I think the Bills, if it's an AFC championship, which I think it will be, Bills-Chiefs, I think the Bills do beat the Chiefs this year.
I hope so, man. I really hope so.
Because it'll be at a neutral site, and I just think, again, going back to the DeMar thing, I think the Bills have something more to play for, and I think the Bills are making the Super Bowl out of the AFC. That's definitely that's my lock, I would have to say. I think the NFC is more of a toss-up.
I'm gonna go throw some money on it. I'm gonna throw Giants Bills Super Bowl.
Well, I took at the beginning of the year. I do it every year for all my teams to win the championship. So I have $50 at the beginning of the year for the Bills to make the Super Bowl and to win the Super Bowl. And then when the playoffs started, I threw 25 on a Super Bowl exacta. So it's matchup winner. So I took Bills, 49ers, Bills win. So that was like 25 to win like 350. And at the beginning of the year, I won them, took them to win the Super Bowl. So that was like 50 to win 600 or something. So if they win the Super Bowl, I'll be
on Joey.
I'll be way blacked out to remember about the money. But if we make the Super Bowl, Walmart, don't go looking for tables because I'm buying them all. I'm buying them all. And then if we lose, you can pick them up at my curb because I'll be throwing them out. But if we win, we're going to have a good time here. Because if they're in the Super Bowl,
we're coming here, 100%.
No doubt I'm watching it here and the door's open to anybody. Not going to
be
put my address out there, but anybody's allowed here, and we're going to have a good time.
Whose address can we throw out there?
What's Paul Dominguez's
I was just thinking that. It was like 52 Wesley Lake.
All right,
We'll have a good time if they make it, and if we win, we'll have a better time. Everybody's going through tables in the backyard, popping champagne. We're getting stupid drunk. We're going to have a good night.
Calling out of work.
It'll be the first time I pretend to be another team's fan.
If we make the Super Bowl, I'm taking off the next day because I'm either going to be way too drunk to go into work or I'm going to be crying way too much to go into work. Yeah. So either way, I'm off work the next day.
In college, when the Eagles won it, obviously in Pennsylvania, as much as I hate the Eagles, I had to pretend to be an Eagles fan for that. Banging pots and pans in the parking lot and stuff like that.
Dude, honestly, no matter what, if the Bills make Super Bowl, I'm not going to say it's a lot because you'll never know. But if we make Super Bowl, no matter what NFC team we play, I know fans for all of them. Like my brother, Mike McElhaney, are Cowboys fans. Brandon's a 49ers fan. And obviously, know a shit ton of Giant fans. And Valerio's an Eagles fan. Who would I love to talk shit the most to is the Cowboys, but would love to talk a lot of shit to Valerio.
You know who's an Eagles fan now, too? Oh, I think he is. Fucking Shane. Shane Wolf.
He is. He's like an all Philly fan.
Because Andrew tweeted, he was like, I hope the Giants destroy the Eagles this week. Yeah, and Shane said, go Birds.
He's a fan of like all Philly teams.
Come on,
the
Shane.
opposite of all Philly teams.
Yeah, me too.
How could you be a Philly fan? All right, I want to stray off this for a little bit. I want to talk about something that might hit a little home to you guys in a different sport. Carlos Correa. I know it's a little off topic, but what an off season for him. What was it like?
3 teams,
like $800 million contract,
Yeah.
something like that, like 30 years.
This man, I don't know. I wish I could sit down. I wish I was a doctor and could read this physical.
No.
Because I want to see what popped out on that. After the Giants passed up on him, and then
When the Mets passed up, I was like,
yeah,
huh.
that's when you know. Because Steve Cohen's just throwing checks out there every year now. At this point,
I saw someone. Obviously, it was like a fake thing that someone made. It was the cover of the new MLB The Show game, and it was Correa in a Giants jersey, a Twins jersey, and a Mets jersey.
dude, this is like the first time I've seen players like back out of like deals and go.
Yeah,
like,
but I've never seen 3 teams
two
in one off
physicals-
season.
2 physicals failed, and then
And then your old team's like,
and
yeah,
his
I'll
old
just take
team's
that.
like, I guess I'm back in Minnesota now.
Yeah, I mean
He went from
that was
he went
absurd.
West Coast, East Coast, and then back to up to Minnesota, bumfuck Minnesota.
I couldn't believe that. I was like, honestly, I thought like once he said like he was going back to the Twins, I was like, he's gonna fail this physical too. Then what
Yeah.
happens? Like, does he just retire? Like,
Long Island Ducks, baby.
yeah, like what happens? That was absurd.
So a couple weeks ago, I follow this Yankee page on Instagram, and they always post throwbacks. So they posted a throwback of when A-Rod hit that pop-up and Castillo dropped the ball,
Oh
like short right field.
Dude.
And the only reason I'm bringing it up is because I put it on my story, and Blanco slides up, and he said something about how who did he say? He either started with Correa or I think he started with Correa, like saying that Correa wouldn't drop there. Something like I was like, first off, why is he playing fucking second base? and then I was like, yeah, if he ever signs, and he goes, even if he signs, we still have McNeil, blah blah blah, all this shit. So then when Correa like went and signed with the Twins, I was like, well, that aged well for you, didn't it? And then some kid at work too, when they signed Correa, he like walks up to my desk, he's like, see the signing, man? I was like, so then when I saw him again like last week, I was like, how about that Correa signing, man?
I saw there's a couple people that posted on Twitter. It's like always wait until it's actually official, and they like posted like their Correa jerseys that came in the mail. I was like, dude, that sucks.
That's bad luck, man.
That
I mean,
is
I would
bad.
never get a guy's jersey unless like it was officially official.
Yeah, that's bad. I gotta get some new Met jerseys.
I know. I got a McNeil one. I
have
still
McNeil.
have
Yeah.
It's literally sitting. I looked at it today too, and I forgot it. But yeah, it's sitting. In
I
my
forgot
closet,
about it
dude.
for the past 2
You know,
months.
I'm a little pissed because I got a large, you got an XL, and they sent me 2 XLs. But
What is it?
T. Higgins jerseys.
You got a purple one, right? You got the purple one. I got the orange one.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, they're nice jerseys.
That shit better stay in your closet this Sunday.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Kind of bad time.
Yeah. Oopsie. Got to draft. Well, you'll have him again next year, right? So we have you have like 2 more years with him, right?
Yeah, I think.
Sick.
Yeah, something like that. Either this is the last year or another year after that. T. Higgins is my guy. That's my solidified keeper in fantasy.
Yeah, guys, if you didn't know, I won our fantasy league.
I don't think any of them axed.
Shout out Justin.
Yeah.
Couldn't have done it without him.
Collusion.
Was not collusion.
It really wasn't. You were in the car.
was in the
He was
car.
Thank you, Jordan. Let's go.
I didn't know James Robinson would just literally
Fall off the face of the earth.
exiled by the Jets after trading for him.
Guys go to the XFL.
Yeah, I'm like,
real.
dude, all right, like, yeah, no, like, I wanted the draft pick more than anything because, like, I knew I kind of had no chance to win it all. But like James Robinson was like, oh, this guy could be a good keeper, and the guy just, all right, he's a practice squad player now.
Realistically, too, I think me and you think of what players are worth for draft picks more relatively the same than what like other people in our league do that did trade. Like, I'm not just saying this one because it's Dan, but like Dan trading Joey a 5th for what's his name?
I don't know. I traded my whole team to him.
Wide receiver.
Michael Pittman?
Yes, Pittman. I think it was a 5th.
I mean, he's also a 8th round keeper.
No, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I traded a 5th in James Robinson for. It was a little over, like Mahomes and Keenan Allen. Like, yes, could he have gotten
Allen
more?
Wasn't playing at the time.
Yeah, you got to think about that too. Like, maybe Keenan Allen doesn't come back and play at all. So there was the whole risk factor on my end. He was getting a guaranteed pick, and then you get someone like Dan, and there was a lot of other ones too. Like, it's not just Dan. I'm not just throwing Dan out there because fuck you, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, looking
Love
back,
Dan,
Dave
but-
definitely won that trade.
Without a
But
doubt.
yeah.
But I
also did not expect. Jets just traded for James Robinson.
I just think I would never trade a 5th round pick for somebody like that. Like, and I know a lot of people, like, literally half of our league was like, bro, like a 5th for that. Like, Joey texted me, he's like, you just screwed me, because he was trying to get rid of
Allen.
He was trying to get rid of Josh Allen. He's like, you just screwed me. He was like, I was going to try to get a 3rd for him, but nobody's going to do that now that you just gave a 5th for Mahomes plus more. But yeah, no, I think me and you think of picks relatively
also,
the same.
I held James Robinson at a very high value at that.
Yeah.
That's
As
true.
an 11th round running back that has showed that he could be a top 10 fantasy running back in the league.
But then you also got to think about it. Like, you kind of knew. Like, yeah, you could have made the playoffs, but like, dude, if you like
Well, I had to
the
make
way
this-
teams were looking,
Yeah.
like Harrison's team should have dropped 140 every week in the playoffs, but they didn't. Chris's team, same thing, could have dropped 140 every week in the playoffs, but they didn't.
I
Like,
just
there
felt
was
like-
so many teams that it was just like,
Yeah, and I just felt like there was like 4 or 5 teams. Like even if I squeaked into the playoffs,
Yeah.
like there was 4 or 5 teams that even if I pulled an upset in round 1 or even got to the championship, like I was not. There was no way I was winning
Yeah.
that ship this year.
Crazy
for-
thing about our fantasy league. I have a lot of back-to-back picks now. Because
does.
Dan beat me in the toilet bowl. So he is the first overall pick, and I have the second.
So
I
it's
have a
him. He has
lot of
Dan's
back-to-back picks. And I am hyped for next draft. I
Yeah.
can't screw this up, dude. I cannot screw this up.
Joey, you're literally gonna have like, so, boom, boom, boom. Am I doing this right? Boom, boom.
Yeah.
And then you have his 5th.
I have his third, but
Okay,
I don't
so you
have
have-
my third.
So you skip here, then you take this, then you pick here, then you come back here. You still have your 5th.
I'm pretty sure.
So you
Boom,
pick
boom.
here, pick here. Do you have your 6th?
I don't know. I have
That's
I have
fucking
so
nuts.
many picks next year between Dan, Lopez.
Yeah.
Like I have so many picks next year, and my keepers aren't terrible. So I mean, I just can't.
I know it's like common
screw
sense,
up.
but I really like solidified for me this year. Like, you need wide receivers that are just ball hogs.
Yeah.
Like, you need like AJ Brown was getting like at least this is on the lower end of him too, like 7 receptions or 7 targets a game. Like, he would always get like 13 targets a game, come away with like 7-8 receptions. Keenan Allen, when he gave him to me, the dude was getting like 14 targets a game. And like
Another thing
before
that
that
screwed me,
too.
literally all season holding on to Keenan Allen. Guy just wouldn't come
Yeah.
back. I remember after he got injured week 1, I was like, oh, at most
Like 2 weeks, yeah.
Dude, guy just never came back.
And then everyone, like, every year everyone's like, oh, Godwin's good, but like Mike Williams, Mike Evans, but there's Godwin who just runs his 10-yard fucking slants or whatever and literally like 13 targets so many times, and you get like 13 receptions sometimes. I'm like, dude, like that is what you need. You need like one running back that's just like a fucking dog, and then just a few receivers that are just gonna get you like receptions, dude. Like there's exceptions to that. Like, yeah, the big play guys,
Yeah.
they're worth it, but they're also getting a shit ton of fucking targets too. But I just think those
thought
like
it last year.
those slot guys. Oh,
I'm gonna think it again this year. Is that I should get Eckler or McCaffrey at 2.
Eckler's going number 1. I'll tell you that.
Anything could happen.
Which is why I'm keeping him at 12 now.
I don't know. I got
I'll
a little
take
bit.
McCaffrey at 2. I'm fine with that.
I got a little
I'm
bit
fine
of.
with that.
I don't know if I should drop this on the podcast, but someone hinted to me where he's going first overall with.
All right, we'll talk about it after.
Yeah.
We got-
gonna wrap this up?
Long way. Before we wrap it up, I just want to give a quick shout out to my dogs. Back-to-back national
Oh,
championships,
yes, I forgot
baby.
about that.
Stenson Bennett, the mailman, Georgia legend. What a beast, dude.
Shout-
I don't care what everybody... Ooh, he's 25. Shut up. Nobody cares. He's a back-to-back national champion.
Man should be sitting in an office.
I don't give
in
a
suit
shit
right now,
what...
working right now.
Dude, he already owns a car dealership in Georgia. You know that?
I did not know
He
that.
owns a car... It's literally Stenson... I forgot what
That is
dealership
the
it is.
most down
but it's
south
Stenson
college
Bennett.
football thing
Yeah.
I've ever heard of.
He owns a car dealership in Georgia. So even if he doesn't go to the NFL or doesn't do anything, the amount of people are going to buy cars from him
Oh yeah.
just because his name.
Oh yeah.
Like, but shout out to my dogs. It wasn't
Salesman of the year.
Yeah.
wasn't a competitive national championship. TCU didn't belong there.
No,
TCU, dude. I can't wait till the playoff goes to 16 teams. I think.
know.
12. I think.
It's
it was.
12,
gonna be
yeah.
12. It's gonna be so much more fun because there's gonna be so many more upsets, and the two guys in the two teams in the championship are most likely gonna be it's gonna be more of a competitive game than like,
Yeah.
a TCU sneaking in. Like they have no business.
I think you
St.
guys.
Louis, half of the SEC.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
you guys will agree with me here. Yeah, I think you'll fully agree with me. So I saw a lot of people saying like, should have been Bama in there. I think yes, Bama is would have put up a better game
Yes.
than TCU. I think they would have put up a better game than Michigan as well. Not Ohio State. I think Ohio State was the second best team, but I think Georgia was just flat out the best team in football this year. But you can't have the losses in the regular season. Like,
Oh,
yes, I think Alabama would have put up a better fight than two of the playoff teams.
Yeah.
But if you're not going to win those regular season, if you're going to choke in the regular season, that's your own fault.
Yeah.
100% your own
Like,
fault.
really, like you could say the same shit about USC too, because USC
think
should have
they were
made
that
it, but
good.
they lost the Pac-12 championship and they
Yeah.
lost it. Like they blew it for them too.
USC,
Like,
dude, and I'm so happy about that. Which I mean, it's a big thing that college football is going to 12 teams because it's literally going to be a 2-conference league in a few years. USC, the Pac-12 is losing their 2 best teams to
Yeah.
the Big Ten, and then you got the Big 12 losing their 2 best teams to the SEC in
Yeah.
Texas and Oklahoma.
can't wait for Archie Manning to come to the SEC. Gonna eat that boy up. But no, I mean, I agree that. I mean, it was a great night for me because I didn't have to stress one bit. I was relaxing on the couch, watching us go back to back. I mean, it was a great night, but we beat the shit out of those Frogs. They did not belong in that game.
You know how much of that game I watched? 40 seconds. And you know when it was? When they scored, when TCU actually scored. I watched them score. I was like, oh, this might be a good game.
Yeah.
And then I kept watching for another 30 seconds, and Georgia scored right away. I was like, this is not going to be a good game. And I went upstairs.
It was 10-7, and then we scored like 54 unanswered points.
It was ridiculous.
Dude, we beat them down. That game was so much fun. A lot of people were on like TCU plus 14. I was like, why?
Never, bro.
They don't belong in that game. Like, why are you taking that bet? You're losing money on that bet.
It just sucks. I think if Ohio State would have won against Michigan earlier in the like, what was that, the last game of the year or whatever, then I think because then they obviously would have been the 2
Yeah.
instead of Michigan, and that would have been you guys them in the championship, which would have been a lot better game. Still, I think you guys would have
Dude,
won.
I
It would've
don't
been a lot
know
better game.
what his name is, but shout out to Ohio State's kicker because you won us this national championship. He missed the kick in the semifinals for us to win the game. Shout out, dude! If they make that kick, they win the national championship.
Oh yeah.
They would have
Dude.
destroyed TCU.
All I know is I was very not well
Dude,
because I had been drinking.
That was awesome.
And the ball literally had just dropped. So like
was
you were
perfect
watching the
timing.
game.
I was at Tommy's.
I was at my house. The game was on both TVs
Yeah.
at my house. But no, it was on one TV because we were watching the ball drop on the TV that was closer to me. So I'm like, Happy New Year to everybody around me. And this one kid turns me on and goes, Ohio State just lost. I'm like, holy shit. So I texted Joey like 10 seconds later.
Dude, I was at Tommy's. So Tommy's, the TV on the wall by the bathrooms has a Georgia game. All the TVs above the bar have New Year, the ball drop and everything. So everybody's looking this way at the bar, and I'm locked in on this TV. And so it's like 3, 2, 1. Everybody's like, Happy New Year. As the ball drops, he misses the kick. Everybody's like, Happy New Year. I'm like standing up like, go Dogs! Go Dogs! Dude, I was going nuts.
that's hilarious.
It was literally perfect timing. That was awesome. That was a good night.
Alright.
That's it.
Yeah,
I
let's
think
wrap
that's
it
going
up.
to wrap it up.
All right. I'm gonna be sending out. I'll talk to you guys about this after, but I mean they're not even gonna see this by the time this episode goes up. But we're gonna have Super Bowl boxes, Goat Talk Super Bowl boxes this season. It's gonna be on our Twitter. Be sure to go check it out. I'll be uploading them soon. I don't know when you guys are gonna see this, but I'll be uploading on Friday, January 20th. So go out, check out Twitter. It's gonna be $10 a box, and do a little promotion Super Bowl boxes and win some money.
Sweet. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up. You guys know the deal. All of the links will be in the description below. Hopefully, we'll get another recording session next week, and the next week it will be a little more consistent. It's a little rough
every
right now.
time.
Yeah, I mean, come on. We all work jobs.
I know,
We're trying. We
I
really
know.
are.
I know.
But it happens. But yeah, everything will be in the description below. Hope you guys enjoy this episode. See you next time. Deuces.
Go Dogs. Go Bills.
I was waiting for that one.